The Florida Constitutional Revision Commission has finally come up with a list of 25 proposals. You might be able to vote for or against one of them this year. But first, what is this revision committee and how often do they get together? Nightside reporter Liz Crawford explains.
It's only the third of its kind in Florida history. The last time this commission went to work was 20 years ago. So unless you lived here in 1997, this is brand new for many of us. Here's what they do. Once every 20 years, Florida's Constitution is on the line in a very unique way. Changes come directly from you, the voters. The commission is made up of 37 members. One is always the Attorney General. The other 36 are appointed by the governor and other politicians. The CRC travels around the state hosting public hearings.
And that's what we're really here to do this evening, just to listen.
They're just in a temporary position to gather input from citizens. Along with hearings, the CRC looks through thousands of submissions and decides which, if any, should make your 2018 ballot. Think about that, from your brain to your ballot. So how did the Florida Constitution Revision Commission come to be? It started in 1978. 8 proposals made the ballot, but none of them passed. Fast forward 20 years later, the next CRC was in 1998. This time, 9 proposals made the ballot, 8 of them passed, including the creation of the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. So here we are again. 2 decades later, the year will be 2018, and you'll have another chance to be the change in our state.
So what kind of change would we be talking about? With everything from an offshore oil drilling ban to an end to greyhound racing, Nightside reporter Josh Sidorowicz is taking a closer look at what you should keep an eye on and how something ultimately makes it onto the ballot.
25 proposals, all of them with pages and pages and pages of analysis and description like this. But the reality is most of these aren't going to wind up in front of you in November. So rather than read through all of them like I did, here's what you can most likely expect to see on the ballot.
There are a couple issues, I think, that are going to turn the heads of Floridians because they're important to this state and perhaps a little more controversial, and one of them include oil drilling.
Why?
Offshore oil drilling always has the big oil companies versus the environmentalists here in Florida.
And you think that could have a larger impact on the rest of the ballot?
Because it will be a hot topic issue in a very closely contested Senate race between Bill Nelson, the current U.S. Senator, and Governor Scott, it could really sway the electorate one way or the other.
A proposal to ban greyhound racing is also a likely ballot bet, Hafner says, as is something that could close the so-called write-in loophole.
Perhaps one of the best amendments that have come forward. And the legislature several years ago stated that if there's no candidate on the Republican side and it's just a Democratic primary, then both parties can vote on that person so everyone has a voice, with one little glitch. And that was that if you have a write-in candidate, that closes the primary so only Democrats could vote or only Republicans could vote.
So you had opposing parties throwing in a write-in candidate
They would do that to play politics.
What you will not see are any gun control proposals, despite Parkland families asking CRC members to consider it during a hearing earlier this month. With an already packed November ballot, CRC has until May 10th to decide which 25 will make the cut. 22 of the 37 CRC members must support it for it to make it onto the ballot. Josh Sidorowicz, 10 News.